Have you ever been in the middle of a conversation and suddenly your brain fires off 10 tangents and then later you can't remember a single word? That's not you being scatterbrained. That's your head center lighting up its why questions or borrowing other people's worries. Hi everybody, welcome back to HPTV. I am Barbara, and today in this video I'll unpack what it means to have that center defined versus having it open. I want to share some real life shifts that changed everything for my clients, and I'd like to show you how to reclaim your thinking mind instead of being hijacked by it. So let's start by talking about the head center and what it is. So the head center in human design is at the top of your chart. It's literally the pressure point of your mind. And for some, that pressure feels like a steady hum of curiosity. Ideas popping up uninvited, questions that demand answers at odd hours. And for others, it's an invisible sponge soaking up every anxious thought in the room until your head feels like a drum of noise. And neither one is right or wrong. They're just signals that tells you something about your head center. Signals that your mind wants you to pay attention to. So take my client Elena, for example. She came to me exhausted. Mid-morning, she already chased 5 marketing ideas, replied to 4 brainstorm requests, and answered 3 what-if texts from friends. And by noon, her energy tanked and her focus evaporated. We turned her head center from a runaway train into a contained powerhouse. She picked a single time each morning to pour her ideas into one Google Drive document, and after that, she refused to open it again until the next day. And when she started honoring that boundary, her afternoons stayed intact and her ideas matured instead of being half baked. And then there's another client of mine, Sam. He worked in a small startup, open office, tight deadlines, constant ping ponging of questions. You know the environment. And his head center was wide open, absorbing every scrap of stress. And he thought that he was just being anxious until I showed him how to make mental space. So at 3 p.m. every day, he left the building for 10 to 20, 30 minutes, depending on how much time he had. And he spent it with no phone, no earbuds, just walking. Ideally, walking in nature, but if that is not possible, then even when you walk in an industrial area, just go outside and walk in stillness. And in that stillness, he felt his own thoughts return. And he realized that most of the chatter going on in his brain, most of the noise in his head, wasn't even his. It was just background static that he never even needed to carry, but was carrying before. So here's what those shifts have in common. They changed how you meet your thoughts. You don't collide with them head on, but you learn to say, thanks. I see you, thought. I'm just going to park you right here and I'll come back to you later. When your head center is defined, you can capture your ideas in one place, like a Google document, or I use the Notes app in my phone, and that will give your mind room to rest. And when it's open, you need to step away from everything that's inputting your head. And by stepping away, you let your own voice re-emerge. And both moves might feel small at first, or you might wonder, is this really going to make a difference? But yes, they are, because they rewrite your ability to focus, to sleep, and to be present in the moment. Your head center will always pulse, and that pressure never goes away. But when you learn its rhythm, you stop reacting and start directing. You decide when to tune in and when to tune out. And the result of that is that you become the driver of your thinking, not its victim. You still get those flashes of insight, but they land in your life instead of bouncing off, lost in the noise. So tell me, is your head center defined or open? And how does that show up for you? Drop a comment below this video. I promise to read every one and to respond to all of them. And if you want a full breakdown of all 9 centers, you might want to grab your BU by Design blueprint at the link below in the description. Or if you are ready to go deeper with the community for support, then you might want to join my BU by Design Mastermind. The links for both of them are below in the description. And if you are at a loss of what to do, you have no clue what your next step could be, or you want to work with me one-on-one, then I'd like to invite you to book a free clarity call with me. The link to book that one will also be in the description below this video. Don't forget to hit like, to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week in the Anya Center video where we'll learn to trust your inner knowing and where you will learn how you can have no more hijacked thoughts. I'm looking forward to it. I hope to see you there. And for today, I wish you an amazing rest of your day.